You want scary stories? Listen.
I've been to maybe 100 church services in my life. I never thought twice about any of them until the Sunday I noticed that one woman had been sitting in the same pew for 6 hours, and nobody else seemed to see her. This was maybe 4 years ago. I was visiting my grandmother in a small town in rural Georgia. One of those places where the church is older than the post office and probably more important. First Baptist of something or other. White clapboard walls, 3 ceiling fans, no air conditioning. You know the type. The service started at 10 in the morning. Normal sermon, normal church service, the kind where the pastor says, "Let me tell you something," 40 times, and somehow means it every single time. I was sitting in the back. Always the back in any church because I am the kind of person who needs to see the exit. About 20 minutes into the sermon, I noticed her. 3rd row from the front, right side. An old woman, white hair pulled tightly back, dark dress, long sleeves in the middle of August heat. And she was completely still. Not flipping through a hymnal, not nodding along with the sermon, not fanning herself like literally everyone else in that building. Just still. At first, I didn't think much of it. Some old women sit like that, like they've already made peace with the world and no longer feel the need to perform the act of listening because they are the listening. I know that sounds pretentious, but you would have to see it to understand. The service ended around noon. People started filing out, shaking the pastor's hand, hugging each other, talking about surgeries and grandkids and casseroles. I went to the bathroom, helped my grandmother with her sweater. Normal things. We stayed for the potluck because, of course, there was a potluck. At one point, I wandered back into the sanctuary because it was cooler inside and I wanted a minute alone. She was still there. Same pew, same posture. Not eating, not talking, not even looking around. I stood in the doorway for maybe 30 seconds, just watching her. I figured she was waiting for someone, or maybe she had trouble walking, or maybe she was just the kind of person who liked sitting alone in empty churches. Honestly, I understood that one. I went back outside, ate potato salad, spent way too long listening to my grandmother's neighbor Carl talk about his tomato garden. It was probably 1:30, maybe 2 in the afternoon, almost 2 hours after the service had ended. I went back inside looking for my grandmother's purse. She was still there. And this is the part where I want to be careful with my words, because I know how this sounds. I walked slowly down the center aisle toward the altar, because the purse had been left somewhere near the front. And as I got closer, I realized something. I couldn't hear anything from her. No breathing, no movement, no rustling fabric. Old wooden pews creak if you look at them wrong. I sat down directly behind her, and the pew groaned so loudly it sounded like a gunshot inside that empty church. She didn't react at all. I leaned forward slightly and said, "Ma'am, are you all right?" Nothing. I said it again, louder. The church was completely empty except for the 2 of us. My voice echoed off the ceiling in a way I immediately hated. Then she moved. She turned her head, not toward me, toward the far right corner of the church. And in a perfectly calm, old woman's voice, she said, "They're not finished yet." I looked where she was looking. There was nothing there, just an empty corner, a wooden cross on the wall, a vase filled with dead flowers. I left immediately. I found my grandmother and told her we needed to go. We never went back. Later, I asked her if she knew who the woman was. She told me she had never seen her before. Then she frowned and said something that made my stomach drop. She said the third row had been empty the entire morning. I still have a photograph from that day. My cousin took one of those wide congregation photos before the service started. You can see the third row clearly. It's empty.